and C. We look at the two towns that are battling it out in Super Bowl 55, and a freshman congresswoman is stripped of her committee assignments.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
KBI says bone fragments found in Parsons, Kansas this week are human. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes, investigators are using DNA analysis to identify who the bones belong to. The discovered fragments make up part of a human skull. The investigation started Monday, and that's when Parsons police received a tip and called in the Kansas Bureau of Investigation to help. Well, we're in for a cold weekend, that's for sure. Michael Hayslip joins us with the first look at the forecast.
Yeah, Tanya, I'm going to tell you why I'm sitting over here is because we're just updating the precipitable water measurements right now. And while we don't have any weather advisories, no red flag warnings or anything like that, I just got an updated number on this. We need to really be careful about like anything you want to dry brush-wise. Yeah, this thing's getting drier as this air mass moves in. And I'm not going to give you like the exact numbers because it's not going to mean anything. Just trust me. That's kind of scary dry for this time of year right there with this precipitable water. So here's a Freeman Health System sky camera. Let's see what our humidity is updated at. Yeah, 48%. Like that's ridiculously low. And here's the weird thing is that we're actually going to have some moisture move in. It's going to come from the Pacific Northwest. We just got to wait on it. So once again, with these updated numbers just coming in from the National Weather Service, please, no outdoor burning today because it is just way too dry, even though it's not too windy. We are at a critical fire weather stage right now. Our temperatures range anywhere from the high 30s into the mid 40s. That's not too bad as far as our wind goes. I don't know, everything's going to be better than what we had yesterday, you know, when it came in from 45 miles per hour. But now as we see it shift to the west, we're looking at 12 miles per hour in Independence, or in Joplin, 10 miles per hour in Independence. Now, as we push into the weekend, today's going to be delightful. Don't worry about this afternoon. Let's talk about Saturday because we were talking about that precipitation moving in. And so what's going to happen is this dry Arctic air mass is going to push toward the southeast. And then we're going to take some off the Pacific. It comes toward us and we're going to have majority of it's going to be rain. But if you have to go north on the weekend, notice you're going to run into some snow, even a little wintry mix there, especially along 69 and 49 as you head north toward Kansas City. We'll push that out. Super Bowl Sunday, going to be a chilly one as we'll be down into the 30s. What'd I do?
Oh, I'm just trying to tell them to drop the next story. We're really heavy.
I know, I'm sorry, I just got these numbers. I'll make it up for you in weather. Super Bowl Sunday is going to be chilly. And we'll talk about the massive cold front for next week when I see you in a bit.
Well, I hope you got that message, Dylan. Super Bowl weekend is officially upon us, and that means it's time for our annual Super Bowl City Showdown. As the Buccaneers and Chiefs get ready to battle on the field, we look at how their hometowns stack up against each other. Michelle Miller joins us from Kansas City, Jamie Yukas in Tampa, which is already enjoying some home field advantage.
Let's just start where it matters most, at quarterback. This is the Grady Goat Foundation. Turn that G into a B, and you've got Brady Goat, as in Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. Brady's a 14-time Pro Bowl quarterback, a 3-time league MVP, and of course the winner of 6 Super Bowl rings.
Sure, but he did all that as a New England Patriot. And don't forget, a baby goat is a kid. And Kansas City's kid quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, is just getting started. Mahomes already has a ring from last year's Super Bowl, and he's ready for more. Isn't that right, kids? Yeah!
You know, the Tampa Bay area is made up of 3 cities, Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. This beautiful cable-stayed bridge, the Sunshine Skyway, stretches across the lower Tampa Bay and spans 3 separate counties.
1 bridge, 3 counties? How about this? 1 street, 2 states, both Kansas City. Over here, you're in Kansas City, Kansas. And over here, you're in Kansas City, Missouri. Or Missouri, depending on what part of the state you're from.
One city, two states. I got that beat. Right now I'm standing in Tampa in the good old USA. But once I walk through this gate, I'm in Cuba. This little space called Jose Marti Park was given to the Cuban government in 1956, and the island nation still owns it today. And speaking of Cuba, the Cuban sandwich, not invented in Havana, but right here in Tampa, FLA.
You want to talk about food? Really? Kansas City is all about the barbecue. And Kansas Speedway is home to the American Royal World Series of Barbecue, the world's largest barbecue contest. And this, oof, I can smell that smoky goodness.
Smoke? In the 1880s, cigar makers moved into Tampa and started hand-rolling the product right here. Hundreds of millions of cigars were produced, earning Tampa the nickname Cigar City.
Flip the calendar back, and the Kansas City area was both free and slave territory. Before the Civil War, the Underground Railroad led people across the Missouri to freedom in Kansas. Kansas City is where you'll find the world's largest badminton birdie, also known as the shuttlecock.
Yeah, Michelle, we heard all about the biggest birdie last year, but when it comes to badminton, no one has Tampa topped. The longest badminton doubles marathon ever took place between two Tampa teams and lasted a whopping 32 hours and 25 minutes. Another record Tampa holds, longest continuous sidewalk. This is Bayshore Boulevard. It runs 4.5 miles.
That's a pretty long sidewalk for sure, but the sidewalks here in Kansas City are home to the largest pub crawls ever. In 2013, 4,885 people took part and more than 4,500 gallons of beer were ordered. If you do the math, that amounts to about a gallon of beer per person. Hey, what are you doing? This one's for you, Mahomes. Dry January's over.
St. Petersburg's home to the world's largest shuffleboard club.
Kansas City has a castle.
St. Pete once recorded 768 straight sunny days.
Invented in Kansas City, the bumper sticker, the crock pot.
The first scheduled commercial airline flight took off from this St. Petersburg waterfront in 1914. 23 minutes later, it landed here at the entrance of the Hillsborough River in Tampa.
Not gonna lie, that's impressive. But here's a first for Kansas City, the shopping mall! In 1922, the Country Club Plaza opened and changed the way Americans buy their stuff. Hey Jamie, this one's on CBS.
Ooh, make sure you pick me up a little something. But Michelle, while you shop, we really should be talking about sports. And Tampa Bay is on a roll. The Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. The Tampa Bay Rays made it to the World Series. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl.
Hey, forget about those other sports because we're talking about football. So good luck, Buccaneers, Brady or not, because the defending Super Bowl champions are from right here in Kansas City.
Ooh, I got chills when she said that. Of course, you can watch this exciting matchup on Super Bowl Sunday right here on KOAM. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, taking the mic.
Controversial Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is speaking out after being stripped of her committee seats. I'm Deborah Alfarone on Capitol Hill with the latest.
And later, we're making game day roast beef sliders in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Freshman Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is speaking out a day after the Democratic-controlled House voted to strip her of her committee assignments for endorsing false conspiracy theories in the past. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington, D.C.
Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene blasted Thursday's House vote, removing her from the Education and Budget committees.
They actually stripped my district of their voice. They stripped my voters of having representation to work for them.
11 Republicans joined Democrats in the unprecedented rebuke of the freshman from Georgia for her past comments espousing conspiracy theories. Some she tried to walk back ahead of Thursday's vote.
School shootings are absolutely real. 9/11 absolutely happened.
While many Republicans disavowed Greene's comments, most argued her removal set an alarming precedent.
This resolution sets a dangerous new standard that will only deepen divisions within this House.
But Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told CBS this morning a line has to be drawn when it comes to physical threats to other lawmakers.
I would hope that Representative Greene shows some reflection. I will feel safer when she does, but if she doesn't, it remains a very tense situation.
Greene called Democrats morons on Twitter Friday, and she thanked the Republicans who stood by her. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Who will you be cheering for during this weekend's big game? If you serve what we're making today, I bet your gang will be rooting for this all-time winner.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your Super Bowl weekend forecast.
So major development for this afternoon is how dry our air has gotten as this air mass moves in. It's not the cold front that we had from yesterday. This is more Arctic cold, dry air. Of course, the one that came in yesterday and dropped us some 20 degrees. It happened quickly, but now we've got elevated fire weather concerns as we progress through tonight all the way into Saturday. And the interesting thing about it is we're actually going to pick up precipitation late Saturday morning. We've just got to wait for it for the time being. So if you had any inclination of burning anything outside, nah, let's hold off on it. Little light cloud cover has presented itself, and here's the nice thing. We had a good system that was working through central Kansas this morning. That thing's broken up. It is gone. Let's talk about our relative humidity. You know, usually this time of year, we'd be looking about 65 to 75%. We're down to 47% in Chanute, 44% in Monette. It's not just us. It's the entire Midwest as this thing drops in, because what happened is all that precipitation stayed up to the upper plains. That's why they had blizzard warnings. They had a lot more snow, and, you know, we just had the light rain for the most part. 41 in Pittsburgh, 45 in Anderson. Let's go 45 as well in Chanute. Winds continue to switch around on us, now coming in from the west. And nice thing is, just 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, pick up a little bit for the evening, but nothing like what we had yesterday. So this is that contour I was talking about just a second ago. Look at that. Temperatures down below zero, dangerously cold. They're asking everybody to stay inside. We escape, stay just on the south side of that big air mass. But the jet stream is going to sweep everything down, and eventually all this extremely cold air going to make its way into the deep south by the time we get to next week. Our wind chills, not too bad, especially when you consider we saw as low as 12 this morning in Nevada and Stockton, able to rebound all the way up to 36. Let's talk about the weekend here. So we escaped tonight, not too bad at all, but Saturday morning, that's when we get that precipitation that develops from the Pacific Northwest. Got a line of rain. Most of it's going to stay as rain. Going to back off on that timeline a little bit. I think late morning's really when it's going to start. But then we do see the snow try to sweep down into the central portion for the evening hours. You get on south of I-44, pretty much going to stay as rain. A little light snow cover up to the north right there. Now, as we progress to the national perspective, let's talk about good old Tampa, Florida. Look at this. Sunday morning, a wet, absolute mess. But as we get closer to kickoff, 5:30 right here on KOAM, the rain graduates down to the southeast, and I don't think it's going to be an absolute pouring atmosphere like what we thought it was just a couple days ago. So chances are, Tanya, I think it starts with some rain on Sunday in Tampa, but I think by the end of the game, everybody's good to go.
All right, well.
Not that either of these two teams aren't accustomed to that either.
True. I think they're used to playing in varying conditions.
Well, if you want to see what it's like in Tampa, turn on your TV, KOAM, 5:30 Sunday.
That's right. It'll be warm inside where we are. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Chief Warrant Officer Jerry Cuffler in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Parsons, Kansas, joined the military during Operation Desert Storm in 1990. He served with both the 43rd and the 1011th units while stationed in Parsons, and later the 89th ARCOM out of Wichita. To Chief Warrant Officer Jerry Cuffler, we thank you, our four-state hero. And looking for, Howard shows us how to prepare his game day roast beef sliders in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to the big game this weekend, no matter who you're cheering on, or if you're just watching it for the commercials, you know you're going to work up an appetite. So this year, along with your chips and dip, make sure you have something that'll satisfy the hungriest of appetites. How about Melty roast beef sliders? We begin by slicing a package of Hawaiian-style rolls in half like this, and smearing both sides with a container of refrigerated garlic herb spread. This is going to add lots of flavor. Now we pile on some thinly sliced deli roast beef and top it with roasted red peppers. Just make sure you drain them well, and some sliced provolone. Sprinkle on some steak seasoning and top the whole thing with crispy fried onions. Put the top on and cover it with foil. About 20 minutes before it's time to serve, pop it in the oven to get all melty. Put these out during halftime and watch everyone dig in. The nice thing about these, they're just the right size. To get the recipe for our game day roast beef sliders, so you can earn the title of Best Game Day Host, just visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a winning way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Go Chiefs! Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Let's get down to brass tacks. There's your 7-day forecast. Super Bowl Sunday is going to be chilly. All right, Dow, Tanya, here's the deal. I'm going to go 30-27 Chiefs. Not only does that keep me in line with the point spread, but it also keeps me in line with the Vegas total.
You're close. It's actually going to be 34-27 Chiefs, and it's not going to be quite as close as the score implies because it's going to be a late score by the Bucs.
All right, so you took the spread and the over.
Yes.
I tell you what, you are both winners because I'm with you. The Chiefs are going to come out on top.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
She takes the money line. That's what she means.
Let me tell you quickly what's coming up at 5.
Sure.
All right, at least the first story at 5 on this National Wear Red Day, the American Heart Association raises awareness about heart disease and stroke in women. It is the #1 killer of women. Doctors say 80% of those cardiovascular deaths are preventable. That story, a lot more, it's coming up at 5.
Note other reasons why people are wearing red today as well. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.